to heal, no responsibility, just a voice crying, "Why don't you grow up and act your age?" And the silence echoing, "We did." When I couldn't write about driver's ed and teenage angst, I thought, maybe I should retire. Instead, my husband and I decided to build a house. We fought over tiles, the water heater, even the closets. Bill wanted a skylight over the shower. I could just visualize American Airlines flying low to give passengers a peek at my body. And we traveled. Vacations always sound so great on paper, but they are hard work. Bill is the kind of man that goes to the Grand Canyon and insists on bringing the car to a stop and getting out to take a photograph, instead of rolling the window down like everyone else. The important thing when you get home is to set fire to the contents of your suitcase. To me, a travel wardrobe has the same symbolism as maternity clothes. Get rid of them, and you never have to go through the experience again. I know it will only be a matter of time until Bill's beard is fuzzy white. I grow a mustache, and we wear matching glasses. No one will be able to tell us apart. Not that I ever thought that Bill and I would go through life like matched luggage. All I had ever hoped for is that we would hate the same people together and deteriorate at the same rate. I believe that a serious illness is a marriage's unspoken fear. But the chances of a couple staying healthy together and dying at the same time are Las Vegas odds. I had been diagnosed with kidney disease in my 20s, inherited from my dad. It wasn't an issue, really, for 20 years. But once it got worse, I worked darn hard to make sure that my treatment wasn't an issue. In-home dialysis 4 times each day simply became part of my schedule. So the clock ticked a little faster for me. The big surprise was that I was the first to stumble. It should have been the other way around. Insurance charts practically guaranteed that Bill's sell-by date would come first. But that didn't happen, Biff Blanchard.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special report.
This breaking news: the Equal Rights Amendment went down to defeat today, 3 states short of the 38 needed to change the U.S. Constitution. Supporters of the amendment claimed that anti-ERA forces played on the same fears that had generated opposition to women's suffrage in 1919.
Congress had given us 7 years to convince a majority of states to adopt the amendment. 35 did, but we needed 3 more. We almost changed the Constitution. I wish they could have put this on my tombstone. She got Missouri for the ERA! When Alice Paul wrote that original amendment in 1923, she said, each one of us picks up a little stone, and eventually you build a great mosaic. In the United States Capitol, the Equal Rights Amendment is reintroduced every year. It's a ritual. Women lawmakers make sure it's the first bill out of the hopper. And every year, nothing happens. People wondered why, with all my success, I kept up with the column, the speech giving, the book writing. It wasn't for the money, not a chance. I wrote all those years for me and for all the other mothers standing on tiptoe in the back of the room, waving their hands to be recognized. I recognized them. It turns out that was my God-given talent, valuing what the rest of the world seemed to take for granted. I wrote for the moms missing from the table, table, attending to all, hoping for just a shred of attention. Good old, dependable, old, faithful mom. Ignored there, in the back. Even my mother understood that, although I suspected she used most of my books as doorstops. If you asked her what was in them, she was kind of vague, sort of like when she tried to explain about menopause. When I asked her what it meant, she said, "Your baby basket dries up." Is that the clinical definition? That's what it amounts to. Late in life, Mom and I became very close. It took a long time for it to hit me that the roles of mother and child had reversed. My mother is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. The wrinkles on her face have been earned one at a time. And her hands, they are small and veined. And you can't help but be impressed when you see that the ring finger has shrunk from years of wearing the same wedding ring. Her naps are as frequent as mine used to be. She already has a sitter for New Year's Eve. The transition comes slowly. Did it come that rainy afternoon when you were driving and you slammed on your brakes and your arm sprang out between her and the windshield and your eyes met with a knowing look? Then, one day when my daughter was driving with me, she slammed on her brakes and her arm flew out, protecting me. The switch had arrived. So soon? But that's what life is all about, isn't it? Who wants to go through life with regrets? Think of all those women on the Titanic that waved off the dessert cart. My only regret in life is that I should have eaten more Bluebell ice cream and less cottage cheese. And I should have invited guests over for dinner, even if the carpet was stained and the sofa faded. And instead of wishing away that 9 months of pregnancy, I would have cherished every moment and realized that the wonderment growing inside of me was my one chance to assist God in a miracle. And when I stood before Him at the end of my life, I didn't want to have a single bit of energy or talent left. I looked forward to saying, "I used everything you gave me." But most of all, given another shot at life, I would seize every minute to make a difference. Look at it, really see it, live it, and never give it back. Oh. When your mother asks if you'd like some advice, it's a mere formality. It doesn't matter whether you answer yes or no. You're going to get it anyway. And another thing. Marriage doesn't come with guarantees. If that's what you're looking for, go live with a car battery. And always remember, never go to your high school reunion pregnant. If you do, they will think that is all you have done since graduation.
Please give it up for Ms. Marcia Cassanova. Erma. Thank y'all. We appreciate you coming. Y'all have a good night. God bless.